Welcome back from the break. You're still watching This Week, and I'm Somna Sambo. Now, in a bid to resolve the festering crisis within the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the National Disciplinary Committee of the PDP, led by Chief Tom Ikime, in the week summoned the PDP's embattled National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu. Senator Anyanwu has been embroiled in a fierce battle with the former youth leader of the party, Sunday Odeokoye, over the rightful holder of the National Secretary position. Now, the disciplinary committee also invited the former Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom and 10 others over allegations of anti-party activities. Ikime announced that the panel met recently to consider 5 petitions, some of which targeted prominent figures in the National Working Committee. In line with its mandate under Section 57(1) of the PDP Constitution, the committee reviewed the petitions and noted that the first set involved key NWC members. But in a bid to support ongoing reconciliation efforts led by the Governors Forum and the BOT, the committee decided to step down 3 of these petitions. Now, the second set of petitions concerns former Governor Ortom and others, as well as the petition against Senator Anyanwu. Now, the committee resolved to invite the affected individuals to appear before it next week. Well, to help us examine the conflict within the PDP and the latest efforts at reconciliation, we have joining us in the studio political affairs analyst Dickson Iroegbu. Thank you so much for joining us, Dickson.
Thank you.
All right, so what's been your assessment now after all of this drama that happened with the BOT and embattled National Secretary? The party's disciplinary committee has now summoned Samuel Anyanwu and Governor Ortom and others. What's been your view?
Thank you for the opportunity once again. First off, this PDP conflict, crisis, is obviously about the soul of the party. Because indeed, PDP is the alternative right now. APC has failed woefully, having ruined the nation in the last 10, almost 11 years now that they have held sway. PDP held this country for 16 years together. Yeah, they can, but Nigerians can tell better. You're a Nigerian. Outside being the anchor of the show, you're a Nigerian. They hungered. How we left the party the country in 2015, and how APC is handling the country right now, we all can attest to it. So, so it's about fighting for the soul of PDP, so that Nigerians can possibly consider it again, because the party made a mistake in 2023. All right, PDP would have come back to power naturally in 2023 if it had upheld its zoning, constitutionally recognized zoning arrangement. But the party, for whatever it was, happened, and the party missed it. Because you couldn't imagine it that after 8 years of ruining the country, the Buhari administration, that APC would still come back in 2023. So it was PDP missing it in 2023. But here we are, 2027 is around the corner, and so politics is already playing out. This is 2025. Yeah. But the engagement for 2027 is already playing out. And the only available alternative, is the PDP. That is why this conflict. Now, the office of the National Secretary, which is the case here, you'd wonder, what really is the issue? Are we a banana republic? No. Somebody went to court and said, oh, that you were supposed to resign before vying for governorship position, which is, in this case, Senator Sam Anyanwu, who sought to be the governor of my state, Imo State. And then that he was supposed to resign, and went to court, got a judgment.
Based on what they said, the
yes,
Constitution
according to them. I have the Constitution here, don't worry, I'll get there.
Yeah.
Because the Constitution was turned upside down. They deceived the court, all right, and got that judgment. He appealed the case. And then while the process was on, because they were in a hurry also, they didn't even join INEC in the case that they went to the High Court, with. And Sam joined INEC in his appeal. Of course, he got a judgment in his favor. These people went to court on the 20th of December and then got whatever they got at the appeal court. And then you now went on the, I think on the 2nd of January this year, Sam Anyanwu, took the case to the upper court, the Supreme Court, and then appealed that there should be a stay. That stay was given on the 13th of January. Now, I wonder what is wrong with the camp of the other people trying to disrupt the party, because the stay is very clear. Maintain status quo ante bellum. What does it mean? Revert to where it was before the conflict started.
And that's
there can be a vacuum. Yes, there can be. They
say,
no,
the legal advisor of the party said that the status
say,
quo that's defined is different from the way the Samuel Anyanwu group is taking a look at it.
The word status quo antebellum, it's a Latin word. I'm not a lawyer, but if you Google it, you'll know what it means. What the lawyers say, you can't place something on nothing. There was someone in that office before you went to court. And in this case, it's Senator Samuel Anyanwu. When you went to court, the processes has gotten to the level of where it's appealed, and then where it's now at the Supreme Court. And then there's a stay on that particular case. That stay says clearly that you revert to that office as it was before this case started until the case is now determined at the Supreme Court. But because, like I said, there are people determined to either disrupt the future of PDP as they did in 2023. Because if you ask me sincerely, and this is my view, sincerely, there are two cases involved here. The Atiku end, because you wonder, what is the need for Atiku again? If in 2017, the party zoned the ticket of the presidential ticket to the north in 2017 against the 2019 election, no Southerner purchased the expression of interest form in 2019 for the 2019 contest, right? Election, yeah. But now in 2023, it was left open. Of course, Atiku got it in 2019. 2023 was thrown open because of the aspiration of the same one person. Having gotten the ticket twice, one would have, expected Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to now show leadership. This party has been fair to me.
When you say leadership,
yes,
what exactly?
The leadership here must apply that, must consider the common interest of all. It's not about his aspiration anymore. Nigerians are going through a excruciating state in this country. The situation of our country is terrible. And PDP can salvage. He knows that PDP is better positioned to salvage this country. But his aspiration is now derailing the opportunity of PDP. This is the case here.
Well, that is why. Have you seen what happened in Ghana? I mean, a former leader had to be brought in when there was a problem. And of course, the former governing party is back to power.
Yes.
What if that's the way he's thinking? That, I mean, he remains the man to beat.
No. It's not about. See, there is
the only one that maybe can tackle a president.
This constitution recognizes zoning.
Yeah.
It recognizes it. In fact, I can open for you the part of the zoning. But let me even address finally the National Secretary's place, because they were referring to the aspect of that he must resign, before vying for that seat.
He should have resigned before vying.
This is the constitution of PDP, 2017 as amended. It reads clearly, section 47.5. It says, any officer elected into the executive committee of the party at any level may resign, not shall, may resign his or her office by giving 30 days notice in writing to the appropriate executive committee, except in the case of resignation for the purpose of vying for an elective office, which shall be effective within the period of stipulated in the guideline issued for such elective office. So the issue here is that the constitution clearly states that it is the choice of the person involved to resign.
So it's not compulsory.
It's not by compulsion. Now that's why I said, what is wrong with our conscience, the conscience of the party? That is the BOT now. What is wrong with them? They don't have a copy of this?
Okay.
What is wrong with the Governors Forum?
What if Samuel
They don't have a copy of this?
What if Samuel Anyanwu had won the governorship of Imo State?
Exactly.
Would he still?
No, it is not possible. We have a case to reference here. The Taraba State governor, current sitting governor of Taraba State, was chairman of PDP before he vied to be governor. He won. He was still occupying that seat until after sworn in before that seat was declared vacant.
Yeah,
the current deputy publicity secretary of the the current deputy publicity secretary of the party, right, was also a candidate in the governorship contest in Kebbi State. He didn't get it. He reverted to the position still. He is still the deputy publicity secretary of the party. What is exceptional about the Sam Anyanwu's case? It is a proxy war. That is the truth. It's a proxy war. The Governors Forum, instead of facing their former colleague, the current minister of FCT, the Atiku's camp, instead of facing who is actually their enemy in this case, right? Political enemy in this case, opponent in this case. Instead of facing him directly, they now target a friend of his who occupies the office that is as sensitive as the office of the National Secretary. Now you say, okay, because of his friendship, that is why you want him up. Okay, this man was elected at the convention. The office of the National Secretary is not by appointment. And of course, even when you say because he's FCT minister's friend, it's already available to prove that his office and his friendship with the minister has never in any way crossed path. Well, because he stood for his party clearly. According
to you.
No, he stood for his party clearly. After the party took a position and announced Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as the candidate of the party, he was behind the candidate of that party all through the process of the campaign.
Well, Dickson, are you aware that there was a meeting of Southeast PDP leaders, including the governor of Enugu State,
yes,
where Sunday Ude Okoye was adopted as the national secretary?
I'm aware.
Of the party, and his name forwarded, and it was based on that strength also that Ude Okoye resumed on January 2nd.
But that's not the process. How could you resume? It's not by like I said, the office is not by appointment. Let me concede to the position of that they met and then that they have sacked somebody, but that's not the fact. But let's assume that that's it. Haven't nominated you. There is still a process. Your name is supposed to be submitted to the NWC. NWC will call for NEC, where your so-called appointment will now be ratified. What are you assuming office for? That process has not been concluded. And the case in question, like you tend that as, what made you claim now the ownership of the seat of National Secretary? The case has been appealed at the Supreme Court. Why not hold on for that process to be exhausted? So you now ask yourself, why the hurry?
Well, like I said, maybe the BOT is
the BOT is misguided
because the issues of the National Executive Committee NEC meeting has been postponed over and over, and of course the National Secretary is very critical as to the NEC and all of that. So why don't you think that they are also doing this to salvage the party? And why is it so difficult for Samuel Anyanwu to want to allow peace to reign?
It is the other way around. It is the BOT, it is the Governors Forum, it is the so-called Southeast Caucus that met that are actually putting this conflict, that are not allowing peace to reign. Anyanwu has maintained a calm position.
No confidence on Anyanwu. If leaders in his zone, including the governor of Enugu State, who is the leader of the PDP in the Southeast, could meet and they didn't endorse him. They endorsed on
Can your hair be shaved in your absence?
Well, it's
a question. Can your hair be shaved in your absence? It cannot be. So if you called for caucus meeting of the Southeast, and the National Secretary, even if he was a former National Secretary, he's supposed to be there. You didn't give him a fair hearing to even hear you out, and then you make your decision. He was not invited, he was not in that meeting, and you took a position against him. That is a terrible way to administer leadership, as far as I'm concerned. So the Southeast, if you ask me, should please wake up and realize that, yes, the party was unfair to us in 2023. But we can give this party a chance again, because this party is about to correct that mistake. This party can salvage the state we have found ourselves in Nigeria by doing what they should have done in 2023. And that is why I'm saying that peace should reign. Let the process be exhausted. If Sam Anyanwu is now found guilty or not qualified anymore for that seat, then the Supreme Court should rule. But not them sitting on their...
He tried convening another meeting too in Abuja of...
that's the real meeting, actually. No, that's the real meeting. Because
they called us stakeholders, not the caucus, the Southeast caucus of the party.
And by the way, that meeting that was held in Enugu was convened. The fraud case is being investigated now. Because the former national chairman, who is now
national vice chairman,
former national vice chairman, who has now been expelled from the party, forged the document of the party with which they convened that meeting.
It's an allegation.
No, it is here. It's not an allegation. Well, it's in court. It's been investigated now, so no problem. It's an allegation. But that document with which they convened that meeting was forged, because the real one is here, which does not have room that specified that the national secretary shall resign before he will vie for that seat.
Enugu State governor being
he was
the
misled.
leader of the party,
he was misled. With all the wonderful things he's doing in Enugu is recognized, but he hasn't shown leadership as the only governor of PDP in southeastern Nigeria. He was misled, and I was wondering, I was asking myself, and this is supposed to be a lawyer. If such a document was presented to you, if you don't know, what about your Attorney General? The governor was terribly misled, because even if maybe he wants to, as the leader of the party in the Southeast, How come the national auditor is from Enugu State? You also now want the national secretary to come from the same Enugu State. I am from Imo State, and that's in Southeast. That's not fair. So the Enugu State governor should show leadership. Right. If the mistake has been made, they can correct it and allow the party have the internal ways of solving this problem. PDP has an opportunity to give back to Nigerians what they missed in 2023, which is leadership. This country is nosediving by the day. The ruling APC is about to be sacked. But if this party does not put itself together, there won't be such an opportunity. And that is why I'm saying to the leaders, particularly from the Southeast, to look at it again, because this is not the way to handle the challenge that is facing the party currently.
All right, very quickly. As we try to round off this conversation, I'm curious as a journalist to also know why the National Working Committee has not sworn in Sunday Odeokoye right now, because the BOT resolution said that he should be immediately sworn in as the National Secretary of the party. So, I mean, what's happening? Does it look like the NWC?
First off, by the constitution of the party, right, the Governors Forum is advisory. Whatever resolution they took is advisory. By the constitution of the party, the BOT's resolution, whatever it is advisory. So they have advised. Now, having advised, the NWC knows the internal mechanisms required to do whatever they have advised. There is a court case that needs to be exhausted. The case in question is at the Supreme Court. And like I said, the stay of execution, the maintain status quo antebellum clearly says revert to where you were before the case, before the war started. They had said actually
so all of what only the filing that was done of the stay of execution.
No, it's there. It's there. You have appealed the case to the Supreme Court. Yeah. Haven't appealed the case to the Supreme Court. Normally, the appeal court where they got that judgment will only say, hold on, because a higher court has been notified on this matter. So let us wait till the case is concluded there. So I'm saying that the BOT seem to have compromised, because sincerely, if they haven't compromised, they ought to be elders of the party. But they have taken sides. Look at that conflict that happened at the first meeting they had at the Secretariat. The Udo Okoye was not supposed to be in the list. They smuggled him in, and that was why that fracas happened. Well, because by every means, they have taken sides. They will no longer be
meeting at the PDP national.
Why are they running away from their house? If they are the BOT of PDP, why are they running away from their house?
They are not sure of their security.
Because they have been compromised.
Well, let me just read to you what that resolution said.
Yes.
And I'm quoting.
I'm aware.
The BOT charges the National Working Committee to recognize and immediately swear in Ude Okoye as the National Secretary of the PDP in obedience to the judgment of the Court of Appeal. The BOT urges all party organs, critical stakeholders, leaders and members across the country, as well as all democracy partners and all of that, to be guided by the judgment of the Court of Appeal with regard to the position of the National Secretary of the PDP.
Now, I underline the word charge. I underline the word guided. How come you're charging when your position? Don't they know their position? Their position is supposed to be advisory. What are they charging the NWC to do?
Yeah, but they said that
what are they commanding them to do?
What are they ordering them to do? This constitution and guidance.
No, but there's a document with which the party
on behalf of all members. So
yes.
Are you saying that the BOT is not their words?
In this matter,
don't weigh so much in the party.
This matter, right? It doesn't. That word that they use there doesn't apply. They should advise.
So what will now be the function of the BOT?
It's to advise. It's to advise and not to take sides. They took sides. That's why they are charging. That's why they are commanding. That's why they are ordering.
Should not take
it's ignored. There's a law. We're not in a banana republic. PDP is not some jungle group of people that came together to want to grab power. No, that's not what it is. There's a document that guides the party, and the party will adhere strictly by that document, which is this constitution. The BOT should please call themselves to order. They misfired. They should go back to their house and fix it and stop holding meetings outside their house. How can the so-called conscience of the party?
Just before I left.
The so-called conscience of the party be organizing meetings outside the party.
As a member of the People's Democratic Party yourself,
yes, I am.
Are you aware that the BOT also passed a vote of confidence on the Wabara-led BOT, including Ahmed Makarfi?
He is their colleague. They can do that. Nobody is intervening or interjecting or trying to tell them what to do.
However, they should also agree with the leadership of Wabara, and then of course
we have not said the leadership of the BOT is not recognized. That's not what we have said. Right. But the position of the BOT as the case, as it affects the office of the National Secretary, they are compromised, right, and they have shown clearly that they cannot represent the conscience of the party, as in this case. That's
an allegation that they are compromised.
Yes, because they are compromised clearly.
Proof to actually show
they are. If not, they won't be taking sides.
Dickson,
they ought to be the father that bring their children together to say, let's work it out.
People's Democratic Party, a political analyst, and then of course, someone who believes in nation building, and we just hope that all of you at the PDP will allow peace to reign. And of course, as we head towards 2027, we expect a democracy, I mean, a polity that actually works with the tenets of democracy. We must thank you so much for joining us on this program. Well, that's the much we can take on this edition of This Week. Thanks to our production team here in Abuja, Lagos, and London. Do join us same time next week for another exciting edition. I'm Sam Sambo.